Today, I'm going to be trying out some kitchen gadgets. First, I've got the meat chopper, masher, and smasher. The instructions say it's for ground meat, but I'm going to try it on something a little tougher and see how it does. It seems pretty well built. It does have a lifetime warranty, and the edge is only slightly sharp, not enough to cut you, but to really dig into the meat. So let's try it out on some chicken. I have about maybe a little over a pound of various boneless, skinless breasts and some chicken tenders. I basically cleaned out some odds and end bags in my freezer. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in here. And I'm going to spill a little bit of oil too, because obviously the lid was not on as tight as it needs to be. I'm done cooking the chicken, and you could even say overcooking it, because a few of the pieces like this were really thick, so I just left them all in until they were all done. So the chicken is definitely cooked and a few pieces are overcooked, but that'll be a good test for the meat chopper. So let's give it a shot. Also remember that this thing, according to the directions, is made for ground meat. And so I don't know if it's made for this or not, but I can tell you it's doing a pretty good job of chopping up these fairly tough chicken breasts and a few breast tenders too. You have a pretty easy way to get the bigger pieces that kind of ended up on the side of the bowl kind of pushed back towards the middle. Use this like a paddle wheel. I think that's about as far as I'm going to shred the chicken. But yeah, I like this tool. It's going to come in pretty handy, and it's a much better way to chop up meat than the way I was previously doing it. Next, I'm going to be trying out some Gravity pepper and salt mill grinders. Now these things take a lot of batteries. Each one takes 6 AAAs. So there's the cups for either the salt or the pepper, and there's where the batteries go. I'm going to go ahead and wash these cups so I can start using it. Okay, I've got my cups washed. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the batteries. I picked up some Mediterranean sea salt and black peppercorns to use in here, and I got these at my local Walmart. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fill these up. These both look to be the same, so I don't think there's necessarily one design for pepper and one design for salt. I've actually been wanting a pair of salt and pepper grinders for a really long time. And these are gravity operated, so all you have to do is turn them over. Check that out, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely liking these. And that's a pretty cool little blue light that comes on when you're using it. The knob on the top is to adjust your grind. So you turn it clockwise for a finer grind, and counterclockwise for a coarser grind. And you can use the little brush, I guess, to brush this out. But yeah, these are pretty cool, so I like these. I was just looking at the salt that I put in here, and I think I found a hair in here. Let me check that out and see. And no one in our household even has a hair like that. And plus, these things were sealed up. There's no way that it came from any of us. My hair is not even that color, the little bit that I have. So I'm not sure if that's hair or some kind of fiber. So other than the fact that my salt was possibly contaminated with either hair or fiber, I think I'm going to really like these salt and pepper grinders. And the potentially contaminated salt has absolutely nothing to do with the product itself. Next, I'm going to be trying a sandwich de-cruster and sealer. Okay, first, I'm going to try a peanut butter sandwich. I don't want to put too much because I'm not really sure if it's going to squish out or not. So I'm just going to kind of put some here in the middle. Cover that. It says you lift the blue frame up to the top like that. And then you place the white frame just inside the crust around the bread. And you push it down to cut the crusts off. And then you push the blue frame down. And you pull away the crust. So that worked pretty good. Hey, check it out. It didn't actually seal too good right there. But it did a pretty decent job. I kind of like this. This would be great if you had kids. Unfortunately, I don't have any small kids around anymore. But I kind of like this. I even remember seeing a video of, if you guys are familiar with Eric Surf 6, who's an American, but he lives and works in Japan. And he was getting some type of sandwiches out of vending machines that were kind of already sealed like this. So this is pretty cool. I'm going to try out another one. I'm going to make a turkey sandwich this time. And in case you're wondering why I have the industrial sized gallon of mayonnaise, it's because during the holidays we make a lot of the dips where you combine mayonnaise and sour cream to make the dips for like family gatherings and all that. So we end up going through a lot of mayonnaise between November and December. I might as well put some of my fresh ground black pepper on here. A little of my contaminated salt. And I'm going to put the turkey. Try to keep it more in the center than anywhere else, because as you saw in the peanut butter sandwich, I don't necessarily have a lot of room to work with. Alright, I'm going to pull my blue frame up. Center the white frame. Push down, and now push down on my blue frame. It is splitting the bread a little bit right here. And if the bread was fresh, it would probably not be an issue. But I don't necessarily think that this is a deal breaker. And it didn't really seal good right there along the top. Maybe it's because I didn't push down, because on the other one I didn't push down good on the top either. But still, as an overall, I kind of like it. I decided to go ahead and do one more sandwich just to see if it's me that's not pushing down hard enough on the front, or if it's this that's not working the way it's supposed to. Alright, it's sealed all the way around, so it was me not pushing hard enough on that one side. And maybe I was putting a little too much of the peanut butter or the turkey in these sandwiches, but yeah, this one worked out just fine. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Next, I have a tortilla shell maker. I'm sure a lot of you have seen those metal shells that you put your tortilla in and you bake it to make a taco shell bowl. Well, these are actually to fry the shell, so that they're more like what you would get in a restaurant. I have the little metal bowls around here somewhere, and I say that because I don't know where they're at because we don't use them, but they're certainly not as good as what you would get in the restaurants. So I'm going to try these out and see how well they work. So I bought some large tortilla shells, which I think are the size I need. I did look at the extra large shells, but they look like they're a little bit big. So hopefully these will work. To use the taco shell bowl makers, you place the tortilla in the small basket, and then you use the larger side to push it down and kind of hold it in place. And of course, you're going to have to use some oil, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of oil. And once your oil is heated up, you would place your tortilla inside the baskets and inside the pot. The directions said to use a softened tortilla, so I heated this up in the microwave for about 10 seconds. And then I guess it pretty much goes like this to hold it together while you fry it. Now, first of all, it's going to take a lot of oil to fill this pot up, and I did use a smaller diameter pot so I wouldn't have to put as much oil in here. Now, the first thing that I notice is that the way these sit in here, the handles sit up, so the bottom of this is not going to sit flat, which means you're going to have to put probably a good bit of oil in here to be able to fry the top of the tortillas. It seems like it would have been helpful to have these handles both been up at about a 45-degree angle so that this would sit all the way in. And if it turns out the shells don't cook as well as I think they should, I may go ahead and bend both of these baskets. But let me go ahead and put some oil in here, get it heated up, and fry these shells. I put about 2/3 of a gallon of oil in the pot. So my oil is about 340 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of these in here and see how it works. Yeah, you can see these edges here and right here are not really getting down into the oil. But I think on the next one I'm going to try something a little bit different and see if it works a little better. Alright, it's been 2 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and take this out. And I'm going to sit on the paper towels to drain. Alright, let me see if I can get this thing apart without it breaking or anything. Yeah, it didn't stick. I was kind of worried about it wrapping around some of these little wires, but it didn't do that at all. Now the top is still kind of floppy because it obviously wasn't in the oil. But these parts, they got pretty crispy. I think I need to cook it a little bit longer. I was kind of worried about the bottom getting burned since it was so close to the bottom of the pot. But like right in here, I mean, that's pretty nice. But like I said, I think I'm going to cook it a little bit longer next time. Not quite as crunchy as I want it. I've got another tortilla, and this time the side opposite of the handles is going to be the lowest part. So I'm going to leave a little bit more sticking out on that side and see if that can get the whole thing cooked. The oil is at about 350 degrees, and I'm going to cook this one for probably 2.5 minutes and see if that makes them a little bit crispier. I'm having to hold the handles together because if I don't, this top basket is getting pushed up from the tortilla expanding. That didn't happen on the first one, but I don't think the grease was quite as hot on the first one I did. Since the top edges are not going to cook, even with having the side opposite the handle sticking out a little more, I think I'm just going to tilt it and kind of rotate the areas that I tilt all the way around since I'm having to hold the handle anyway. And I could probably let go of the handle now. I don't think it's going to float up, but I want to get those top edges done. So they may not be as done as the rest of it, but at least they won't be raw and floppy. I've cooked this one about 4 minutes, which is significantly longer than I thought I was going to need to cook it. But it does look a lot crispier than the first one. Alright, let's see if this one's going to release as easy as the first one. Yep, no sticking at all. So here's the one I just cooked, and you can see it's a little bit darker and a little bit crispier. And the edges are not quite as dark as down here, but they did get crispy. So I think the only way that I can get the top edges of the tortilla bowls to be crispy is to add more oil. And it's already pretty close to the top, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more oil. So hopefully that'll get the top edges completely crisp like I want. I'm going to let this heat up for a few minutes. But I think I still will probably end up bending these handles up about 45 degrees, just using some pliers so that this thing can sit flat. I'm not going to do that in this video, but I'll probably do that so I don't have to have a pot almost completely full of hot oil. Alright, so I've got my oil heated up and got one more shell in here, and hopefully this will crisp up all the way. I mean, that oil is dangerously close to the top. And I got a little bit spilling over. It's not too bad, but it's definitely the potential to start a fire doing it like this. So I've let this one only cook for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And it's actually gotten to the color that I want it to be. Alright, let's see if this one's as easy to remove as the other ones. Ooh, it's not going to be. That little piece there went in. And right there, and that one a little bit. It's kind of hot still, so let me see if I can get it off without it cracking. Or I should say cracking too bad. Oh, that wasn't too painful. I just had to bust some of these little bubbles right here. But yeah, I kind of like this thing. I don't like the fact that you have to put so much oil in the pot, but as I said, I'm probably going to bend these handles up, and that hopefully will eliminate the issue, and I don't have to put so much oil in the pot. And honestly, these things taste way better fried than they do baked. I mean, it really is a big difference. But you know what? I've got these taco shells. I've got the chicken that I cooked earlier. So I'm going to make some taco bowls. I really wasn't planning on turning this into a cooking video, but I'm making taco salads anyway using the taco bowls and the chicken that I just chopped up with the meat chopper. So I'll go ahead and include it in the end if you want to watch it. I'm going to return my chicken to the skillet. Going to add some water. Throw in a pack of taco seasoning and just mix this around. I'll just let this simmer for about a minute or so, and then my chicken will be ready. So here's everything for my taco salad. First, I'll put some lettuce. Next, I'll top it with some of the shredded chicken. Some cheese, a little bit of rotel, some sour cream, and a little bit of taco sauce. So here's my taco salad using the wire taco bowl basket fryer. Once I figured out how to get these top edges done, it's really not bad, and it's a super crispy bowl, so I really like it. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.